We now look forward to bring on stage Chairman of the Board of Trustees of Somaiya Vidya Vihar and the Somaiya Trust, Mr. Samir Somaiya. He requires no formal introduction in this gathering here, as his very presence here is an inspiration for those who work with him. He has a master's in chemical engineering from Cornell University and an MBA from Harvard University. However, his primary focus is now to take the Somaiya Vidya Vihar group of institutions to greater heights. Please help me welcome Mr. Samir Somaiya to deliver the President's address.
Governor Dr. Raghuram Rajan, my aunt and trustee Leela-Ben, Mr. Ranganathan, our secretary, Somaiya Vidya Vihar, Dr. Bhushan Diwan, our provost, Swami Omananji, and all other members of the diplomatic corps, my family, friends, students, and faculty. Yesterday, the Rashtriya Sanskrit Sansthan, which runs the K.J. Somaiya Sanskrit Vidyapeeth here, had a Hindi Pakhwada. And one of the people called to speak was a gentleman from the SBI. His name was Rakesh Kaushik. And referring to not the inequality that you talked about, but the insensitivity, he composed a poem called Mahanagar. And I am not even going to try because I heard it, so I didn't write it. But the first two lines went something like this. Mahanagar, tu bada ajeeb hai, yahan jo bhi aata hai, uska rang tujh pe chad jata hai. The big city, you are interesting or neat. Everybody gets colored with your color when they come in, which means walking by somebody who is maybe poor and eating off the road, but people will continue to walk by as if they have not seen. And the same thought was echoed by Sahib Ludhianvi when he composed in Pyasa, Jinhe Naaz hai Hind par wo kahan hai. Where are those people who feel about your country? And I would like to say that Shri K.J. Somaiya, my grandfather, one of his deep feelings or mottos was Na Manushad Paro Dharma. There is no religion other than or greater than service to humanity. And this is what we first want to create here at Somaiya Vidya Vihar. So we have, as Vidya already mentioned, students over 35,000 and over 14 to 1500 faculty, teaching in a wide variety of fields, from engineering, medicine, management, arts, sciences, education, languages, Japanese, Chinese. We have the Japanese Consul General here, the Thai who work with us in the field of Buddhism. We work in various fields. We work in the classical languages, Sanskrit, Pali. We used to teach Farsi, Sindhi, Kannada. Those have gone in a sense to sleep. We want to revive them because we think languages are a storehouse of culture, a storehouse of language. And losing a language also loses with it a lot of what it carries. So our annual day is a good time to reflect on where we are. What have we achieved? It's our 55th birthday today. 75 years ago, my grandfather laid the foundation of the company where he worked in the field of sugar in 1939, just before the World War started. And in 1944, when there was a blast in the Mumbai port, he bought this land here, thinking it would be a good place to resettle people of our community who had lost their homes and livelihoods there in Masjid Bandar and Murgadi. In the early 50s, with his friend Kanayalal Munshi, he talked about doing work together with Bharati Vidya Bhavan. The details of which I don't know, but there was a proposal that had to go to New Delhi, and Shri Jawaharlal Nehru at that time thought this wasn't a good fit, and so that proposal didn't go forward. And as often many things happen not necessarily intended, that was the creation of Somaiya Vidya Vihar in this property here that he had bought. Simultaneously, he created two centers, one in Varigaon in Maharashtra, where he started a school, and one here, the College of Arts, K.J. Somaiya College of Arts and Science, that he started to provide education to both communities, that in this city, and in this city in that time this was a Virana. Between Ghatkopar and Kurla, this was marshy land. Many advised him, go someplace else, do it in South Mumbai. Who is going to come to this no man's land? But he used to always say that the city will grow around it, but I want to create an atmosphere, a Vihar, a Vidya Vihar, where education is driven and it is given in all fields. And today we are here to see the city has honestly and really grown around us, and we are providing at least a green lung to the city, which is open. This campus is open to all members of the community, irrespective of who they are and what they want to do, whether they just want to come and sit here or whether they want to come and study here. This is a place of community. It is a place for the city. Our mission is to further education, healthcare, research, and also to preserve and further Indian culture, to engage in development, all in the service of society. My grandfather was born very poor. Soon after his marriage, it was many months before he could even bring his wife home, because he couldn't afford to feed two people, let alone feed himself. And so that's why he thought education was the way that gave him the opportunity out of poverty. Why not try to do this, to give to others? So in terms of education, healthcare, I will just talk a few things of what we have done in the last year. Our rural schools are doing wonderfully well. In Sakarwadi, I think our principal is somewhere here. There he is. And it's a great matter of record that the students are doing very well. It's a school that caters primarily to the Dalit community there. There are all schools. There are schools in Lakshmiwadi also over there. There is Baba Sahib Pawar over there from Maheshwari. I just want to give one vignette of the Sakarwadi school. Their coach just told me that out of the 500 students last month, 60 of them are playing sport at the division level, sir. 60. That is more than 10% competing, not at the school level, not at the Jilla level, not at the district level, but at the division level. And it is incredible to see all these students doing that fabulously. I could go on, that is true. In all our schools are performing very well, but I thought this was an incredible number. I myself couldn't believe that you could have 60 students in this thing. It is very interesting when you speak about inequality. One of our GC meetings in our school in Lakshmiwadi, or was it Sharda, both the principals are here. One of the students told us that, the GC members, that we go up to the 10th standard and we give them this nurturing environment in these places, and then we sort of drop them in the 11th and the 12th, and then what do they go from there? So there are so many brilliant children full of promise. Shouldn't we be doing something so that they don't get dropped? And so with that purpose, we have now started applying for an 11th and a 12th across our schools. I'm very happy that Sharda School has already got permission from the government of Maharashtra. But it is something so that we continue, as you said, Shri Vidya quoted you, if we have to build a bridge over those troubled waves created, but this is also a bridge that we have to give them. The other thought we thought is this is a wonderful campus. It is a wonderful environment where we give students an opportunity to pursue fields of study of their choice. And so now, as you saw in the layout outside, where I said we'll be building campuses and housing in the different places here, our dream is to provide a few hundred beds for students, at least 100 beds for students who come from these communities, so that they come here at our cost and they will be able to study, so that they also have this bridge. And the issue of inequality that we we talk about, we at least bridge to a great extent, because education is a great leveler. So learning should also be exciting. It should be the lighting of fire, as William Butler Yeats said, and not just the filling of a pail. We have applied for autonomy in this campus for many of our institutions. I am proud to say that our College of Science and Commerce, being led by Vijay Joshi, he's sitting there. We have Sudha Vyas, who is in Arts and Commerce. We have Shubha Pandit in Engineering. And Professor Ailavadi, I think he is somewhere in that side. I don't know. There he is, yeah. In management, have all received it. College of Education has applied for it. But because unless we have the freedom to teach the content of what we think is appropriate, what we think is relevant, there is very little that we can do if we are giving away a curriculum given by a university administration aside. I myself, I'm a visiting faculty at Cornell. I only teach 1 month every 2 years, but you've been faculty at Chicago, and you probably realize the freedom you had in setting your own course curriculum, what you teach, what content, what readings to give. I have that freedom at Cornell when I teach a course. We don't have that freedom over here. We want to apply for a university, and we hope that when we get it, we can do dramatic change in the way we teach. We want to give our students learning in immersion. In the Science College, a couple of months ago, Rajendra Singh, the Magsaysay Award winner, also known as the Waterman of India, he came and he talked about river rejuvenation. I don't know if his daughter is here in the audience, but she is Renu is also now, I think maybe she's not here today. But looking from that, we invited him to visit Dahanu, where the Varli community live. And there, although it rains so much that it didn't cover your head, there is no water in the summer for them to bathe in. And the women have to climb the mountain to bring the water back down. So 4 of our students from the Science College have decided to make this a project. Akshay, Yash, Rupesh and Shreyas have decided, under the able guidance of our Environmental Science Department, I don't know if Sugandha Shetty or Sanjay Joshi or any of them are here, but there, Sugandha is there. And it is remarkable that we think that we can create a course in which students will learn how to rejuvenate a river that otherwise goes dry in the summertime. And if learning has to be environmental science, what other learning can we give? Because often what I think is, my grandfather only studied up the 6th or the 7th standard, but he imagined a campus of this vastness. Can we imagine something that we didn't get? And that's what we're trying to have them do. So it will be learning in environmental sciences and in the service of society. Many students from these villages, Divshi, Gadsinsla, they come and study in that school as a residential school. They came and told Patricia, who was sitting over there, that our mothers, you talked about these routine jobs disappearing. They talked about our mothers going to do road work. Can't you do something for them so that they stay with us in our homes? And so we created a program for jasmine farming and home empowerment, which the Canadian government has helped us. And Richard Bale is here. Thank you so much. We really appreciate the help that we got from the government of Canada for that. And it is a matter of great pride that last year a few hundred women who are now harvesting 2 kilos of jasmine a day at about 100 rupees a kilo, 200 rupees a day, did not go for that road work. And in fact, I have my good friend Vishwavir in the audience from RBL, who provided them I don't know what he calls it, ATM banking, where the banker goes to because they found that the nearest bank was an 8-kilometer walk away. What kind of banking can you give to somebody who has to give 8-kilometer walk? Now here, I just picked up a point, Vishwavir, कुछ कर यार, यहाँ पे उनको घुमाया जाता है, आप कुछ करो तो, and I'm amazed that in 1 month we've had banking started over there, and it is delightful because it's of a great. And last week I was with one of our customers. I make chemicals. I was with International Flavors and Fragrances, and I said, if I create a jasmine collective that extracts jasmine perfume, will you buy it? And they said, we will gladly buy it. So the whole idea is income creation. How can we create income creation so that we create a community in which they feel happy in the area that they are? We want to work similarly in sanitation. We want to work in vocational science. And likewise, we're giving immersion learning experiences to students who go in our farming communities to understand the gap between organic farming, chemical fertilizer farming, what is soil testing, how do you apply soils, work with the communities, science linked to society. But as you said, innovation. So education is not, as you said, only about teaching what, it is not about what to think, but it is about how to think. It is to find what society needs, and it is to try and think that nothing is impossible. Ghalib once said, अपने नसीब को क्यों कहते हो बुरा, अगर आप चाहे तो क्या नहीं होता. This is what we want to tell our students. And I can tell you there is nothing that these students are not capable of, and there is nothing that these students have not done. It's a great set of congratulations to what our students are doing. You've seen what they've done. That blind person's chessboard, I welcome you all to go see upstairs. When those children told me about 3 years ago that we're going to make a chessboard that plays on its own and will move pieces, I said, क्या बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन करके दिखाया उन्होंने, तो उनको सलाम. That was all about education. In health, sir, we want to create a center of world-class research, healthcare and service. 3 years ago, I was at my nephew's graduation in Chicago. He studied at the School of the Art Institute, playing football, hit his head. Where did we go first? The Northwestern Medical Center. But somehow if something like that happens in Mumbai, for those who have means, a teaching hospital is not the place to go. And I think that's not the way it should be. We should provide a place that anybody and everybody would go. Last year with the assistance, or rather with their push, the Asian Institute of Oncology, whom I see Dr. Parikh is sitting there, we have created a world-class cancer center. They've created it actually, but we've done it together. We also are now going to create a cardiac center over there, but it's not about not servicing those who can't pay. Last week I was with Sujata Kanhere and Varsha Padke. They're somewhere in the audience. They're a pediatrics department. And we went from ward to ward, bed to bed, asked all the patients. One said, I'm from Antop Hill. One said, I'm from Mankhurd. One said, I'm from Ghatkopar. One said, I'm from Chembur, from near and far. And I asked them all, isn't there a place of health that you can go nearby? And they said, हमारे पड़ोसी ने कहा कि वहाँ हमारा इलाज अच्छा होगा. So word of mouth is great. Congratulations. It was wonderful. Our whole mission is how can people who don't have means and how can people who have means both go to the same place. Come, we'll treat you well. That is our dream and we'll do that well. Last year the Rotary Club also helped us with a blood bank under the leadership of Sanjeev Mehta, and we created a world-class blood bank. It's a game to step, it's a hard road. Because when my grandfather started it, he created a place where he didn't charge for care as the revenue model, and that doesn't work as a revenue model. So we have to change. While we keep that mission going, we have to provide an alternative that creates a cross-subsidizing model, and that's what we're trying to work on. But I'm also proud to say about my medical students. I met 3 MD students. We hear a lot about money in medicine. And I had 3 MD students who told me last year, Urvi, Nikesh, I think, and I forget the name of the third, who said, when I told them that we are trying to create a rural hospital, which my grandfather founded, but wanted to again rejuvenate that hospital in Danu, and she told me, હું તૈયાર છું 3 વર્ષ માટે હું મારી સેવા પૂરી આપીશ. And I said, well, an MD student, you don't hear that. And then she said, હું એકલી નથી, I'm not alone. 2 of my colleagues will also come. We don't know what we'll do after 3 years, but for 3 years, we're ready to give our life to the cause of taking care of these tribals. Not children. And these are students who have options. They've done an MD. They can get into a different community. And then this is what, it is wonderful to meet such students. It is wonderful to see their vision. So we also have started, we talked about again routine jobs. Last year we also started a program called Somaiya Kala Vidya, which is to teach design and entrepreneurship to the karigars who are also losing their vocations. And delighted to tell you that recently in one of these fairs, one of our karigars went to Santa Fe, and in 3 days he sold all that he makes in a year. So the whole idea is how do you give more of that, and you have some of his work on display outside. So all this is great, but it has to be in the service of society and to build great citizens. A month ago in Nareshwari, I was sitting having cross-legged with some of the students in the hostel, and Pooja, one of the girls who grew up there, I don't know if she's here in the audience. Pooja must be somewhere, but there she is. There Pooja is there. Sitting next to her, I was asking her, the food was all given, and I said, shall we start? So she looks at me and says, the children were only serving all the others. So she said, nice, sir. Sarvanla paila betla, ani tyanandar pratna karu, ani tyanandar give. So let everybody get it, then let's say common prayer, only then we'll start. And I said, small things, but great habits. Of course, salam. These are great things that we need to teach, a sense of community. And here she's teaching me and showing me what it is, and I am glad to get that lesson from her. The Dalai Lama was here, and he told us that it is in the cultivation of patience. That life just doesn't come to you, you have to work at it, you have to work at it every day. And it is an education. Swami Omananji was telling me in the morning, कि स्नान कितनी बार करते हो दिन में? How often do you have a bath? I said, हर रोज. तो मन को भी स्नान करना चाहिए, आत्मा को भी स्नान करना चाहिए. You have to recharge yourself every day. You have to, the whole day, your mind is traveling all over. Give yourself 15 minutes in a day where you withdraw yourself into yourself, otherwise you won't recharge. You have to learn to train your mind, as Krishna said in the Gita, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena grahyate. So, I would like to end with one last example of 4 students to show a little bit of Josh. And that's the Josh with which we want to go ahead. And that's 4 students who ran a relay. Pradeep, Rustam, Yogesh and Sachin. I think they might be here as well. And there they are. So I want to tell you the Josh of these boys. They didn't, between 4 of them, they went to the Thane district relay race, 4 into 100 meters. It's a matter of shame for us, what I'm saying, but I'll say it anyway. They had only 3 pairs of shoes. So the first one ran the first 100-meter run, took out his shoes and gave it to number 4. Second ran, third ran, the fourth by which time had tied his shoes and he ran and became first in the district. इसी जोश से आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं, and we're delighted that you're with us, and we're delighted that you're here to encourage us as we move forward. Namaskar.